Good day to everyone. How are you doing? Hope you're well. Steve was here with Ashley Waite here on All Angle Sports Investment. Saturday was a mixed bag for us, Ashley. A lot of frustration. Kylian Mbappe in particular would have been worth his weight in gold to this show, and I know yourself personally.
Yeah.
But another day, another dollar, yeah? Move on.
Yep. So, I'm not allowed to belabor the issue with Mbappe or what? Yeah. Well, we'll just say anyone who follows me on Twitter knows already. You had your awesome four legger that he busted. I added one to have it at plus 1700 that he busted. He was the last one, and then he missed. He missed a sitter. So yeah, the first bet I had on the show yesterday, that I think that's the one that has stuck with me the most, though, because I wasn't crazy enough. I was telling people to kind of be cautious of Mainz. They're not a bad team. Don't go crazy with Dortmund, laddering their goals or anything like a lot of people were doing. So took the simple route at plus money for them to score twice, and then for Sebastian Aller to score, and he missed a penalty. So that should have been a nice, somewhat easy plus money hit for us. So I think I'm upset about not hitting that plus 1700, which I honestly did expect to hit it. I don't play parlays that I don't expect to hit, but yeah, the Dortmund play, that I think that's the one that has stuck with me through most of the day, because then Sebastian Aller scored, which would have been their second goal, and it was disallowed. So kind of two brutal beats on that one. I really thought we were going to get that play. But yeah, I mean, like you said, it's you put it behind you and you move forward. But I do hang on to them a little bit. I don't get them over them quite as fast as you do. I wish I did, but I don't.
Yeah, I've got to be honest, that's very, very disappointing to see Borussia Dortmund not win the title. It's quite sickening to see Bayern win another title. Haller, I mean, this is going to sound awful from me, but he quite literally showed why he hasn't got the bollocks right to when he missed a penalty there. That's awful of me, I know. But
no, I mean,
I miss penalties on days like today.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, it's like I've been upset about that one all day. If it would have been anybody other than him, I would have been just really pissed at them. And I do see what you're saying. He's a great player, and on the big stage, what you've gone through doesn't matter. He should have made it. But I don't know. Like with everything that he has gone through, man, had he hit that penalty right, and then puts Dortmund in a fantastic position to win it. So what a dream story! You probably would have seen a movie or documentary, something made about it, right? His battle with cancer, he comes back, and then he puts the nail in the coffin to take the title from Bayern with a penalty. But all of that down the drain by missing it. So like you said, have to make your penalties.
You do.
Missed penalties are the bane of my very existence.
Well, it's been a bane for a while. It really, since the World Cup, it's felt like there's been a hell of a lot of it, just worldwide.
It's been a while, but it cost us my first bet on the show yesterday and Patreon today. So literally a 4.8 unit swing for two missed penalties, and then Mbappe missing a wide open net. So yeah, missed penalties were so costly today.
I'm amazed you're so calm. You're a changed person.
Well, that was hours ago.
You're so diplomatic about Aller's miss there.
It's only because it's him. I have a soft spot in my heart for that guy. I've loved him since before, all of his health issues and everything. So that just made me pull for him even more. Honestly, like, I was upset about not getting the bet, but it really wasn't a point where I was mad at him. I wasn't tempted to send him a bag of dicks or anything like that. I just thought I got more heartbroken for him, which I just don't have that reaction. And I know bag of dicks is probably a bad choice of words with him having testicular cancer. But yeah.
Oh, dear.
I felt more heartbroken for him. So you can tell I have a soft spot for him, right? Because if you miss a penalty, I don't give a shit if it's my grandma. I want to go chasing you around with a baseball bat. But with him, I was like, oh, poor guy.
They've blown it. Bayern will win the title by 10 points or more next year.
Yeah.
You only get chances to beat Bayern Munich to titles once every 5 or 6 years.
Well, yeah, but I'm going to say you're more than likely correct. But I'm going to hold out for another team to have a shot if Tuchel stays, because
They'll
really
sack him
do.
though, won't they? They'll probably sack him if they're performing crap. They're ruthless.
Well, I mean, they just won the title. That's what I'm saying. I
know, but that's not enough. They're the most
know.
ruthless team in world football.
They're ruthless, because they got rid of Nagelsmann, and look what that guy was doing. How could you be doing any better than what that guy was doing?
I think Nagelsmann would have won the title by probably 5-6 points.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. I don't even touch Bayern matches. I mean, we did take Gnabry to score, and I think he had all of one shot. So yeah, fuck that team. I can't stand that coach.
And then Mbappe, obviously, I mean, for me, it was a big disappointment that the other three. Of the 4 players in my fourfold at plus, I think 800 and something, he was the most confident I was because, I mean, he's in the Golden Boot. He's top. He wants to win the Golden Boot, and I'm just so disappointed that he's the one who let me down. Really shocking,
especially since he missed an easy one, and he's too good of he's too good of a player to be missing. And we loved the angle of it, right? Like you said, the other ones that we liked who hit is because they're chasing him, and he knew he was being chased. So I still liked the reasoning behind it. I would still bet it the same way. I think 99 times out of 100 he buries that one, but he didn't today, so that's really all that matters.
Well, we'll move on to Sunday. We've got a couple of picks each. We're going to talk about EPL a bit later, but we'll start in Belgium, where you actually did have some success on the show for Saturday, Ashley. Club Brugge against Genk is the match here. You're looking at both teams to score over 2.5. You have to take this one away. It's just not a league I really know an awful lot about, apart from Gift Auburn at the minute.
Yeah, so both of these teams are teams that I tell. I just love this league for goals. -130 is a little bit on the. It's right there, teetering on the edge of juice that I like to lay. But so I was thinking, do I take both teams to score? Do I take over 2 or something in a double? I'm not going to complicate it. I'm just going to lay the price because I really do like to play. The numbers support it. Everything I know of these teams supports it. Their current form, head-to-head numbers, and all of that. So yeah. Just going to say both these teams find the net, and one of them scores more than twice. I could see either of these teams scoring multiple goals. So just to give a few numbers to back it up, this has hit in 9 of the last 10, and Club Brugge, they're the home team here. So at home, they're scoring. They average like 2.2 goals scored, and Genk on the road scoring 1.8, so right around 2. And both of them are conceding right at 1 goal in home and away splits. So the 9 of the last 10 head-to-head, and the strikers, the form that they're in, these being 2 rival teams. So yeah, I wouldn't know how to pick a winner here. These are just I just think they both score, and I think one, if not both of them, score more than once. So I'm not usually willing to lay a -130, but I am in this case.
Yeah, that looks a decent enough bet to me, Ashley. As I say, I'm not going to comment too much because Belgium is one of the few leagues in Europe I literally know fuck all about, really. I've got to be honest. Just one of those. I know more about the Austrian.
Them because they're awesome.
I know more about like Austrian and Swiss leagues than the Belgian league. All I know about Belgian football is they nick a lot of talent from Scandinavia in the transfer market. If you're any good in Scandinavia, you end up in Belgium. It's as simple as that, really. I'm going to go back to Scandinavia. I can't believe that I lost with the Brommerpoik in a pick today. Sirius' first win of the season. I mean, what the... I mean, I said, didn't I, that they might get a win from nowhere out their arse, and they did. Very disappointed to lose that pick. I still think that was a hell of a value play. I really do. I'll take it the same bet 10 times over.
Yeah, and I mean, it was close. So yeah, I mean, that's how they go. I mean, especially today. How the hell else do you think it was going to go with the way today?
I know. Yeah. So I'm going Elfsborg Malmo now, and this is a top of the table clash, but the top two in the league. They're not the best two teams in the league because Hacken are the second best team, really, behind Malmo. But Elfsborg, to be fair to them, are on a hell of a run. They've won 7 games in a row. Fair play to them. They've got goals in them, Elfsborg. They score a lot, 22 goals scored. Malmo have scored 23. This makes sense to me to back the overs, over 2.75 goals. Now, if it was in Malmo, I probably wouldn't take the overs because I think they would dominate the game, probably win to 0. They'd monopolise possession. But I think now the match is in Elfsborg. I think the goals will flow. I'd love to see Elfsborg win the game, to be honest with you. I don't really like Malmo as a club too much. It'd be good to see Elfsborg I'd love to see them win the title. I think if they're going to win the title, they need to win this game. And there's no reason why they can't, because, like I say, they do have plenty of attacking talent, firepower in their wings. And they've had 5-0 win, they've had 6-1 win, 4-3. They do have goals in them, and Malmo as well have goals in them, of course. They won 6-0 away from home recently. Dropped points for the first time last week, 2-2 against Häcken. So I just kind of proved that against a good team that they're not invincible. I wouldn't be backing Malmo here. I think their actual price is around plus 220. Last time I looked, plus 140 actually, sorry. On Malmo, I wouldn't be backing them. I think Elfsborg can get a result against them here. It might not be a win for Elfsborg, but I could see like a 2-2 draw.
Yeah.
It's a good sort of shout, that.
Yeah, it is, because you and we didn't discuss this pick before the show, and that's one I was actually looking at. I don't bet tons of teams, but I pay attention to Malmo, and I do pay attention to Elfsborg too. So I really wouldn't know how to pick a side in this one either. That was another one I was kind of eyeing for both teams to score an over, because I do think Elfsborg can score on them, but yours is definitely the smarter play and taking both teams needing to score out of it. But that, when I was just kind of scanning, looking for, my BTTS and overs, that one caught my eye. So, yeah, I agree with you. I think both of the teams can contribute to the total. And, you just need one of them to get one more. So,
Elfsborg have beaten Malmo in 2 of the last 3 home games in the league. Last year, they won this fixture 3-2. They've got a good manager, actually, called Jimmy Tellin, who is someone who I do rate. So I think he's not going to be having any fear about Malmo here. Malmo are a good side, and Malmo will win the league. They'll win the league by about 10 points, I think. But
yeah, they are good.
Yeah, and it's just because of their consistency overall. But they're not unbeatable. They won't. Some teams will beat them, and Elfsborg are one of those sides I think could get a result in. They can certainly score on them. And even if they didn't, Malmo could score 3 on their own. So over 2.75 goals at minus 113.
Yeah, I love that play. I think that's a great price too.
Yeah, and I mean, you could take over 2.5 goals if you wanted to. A bit more of a conservative price. Sort of around, you can actually get minus 140 on that. But I think why not just give it a little bit more juice? You're still winning half. You like a good something 0.75 goal line, right, Ashley? It's kind of,
you're damn right I do. Yeah. I love that one, because over time, I was just discussing this with another capper about a week ago. He was messaging me. I had some questions about it. It really is it's just more sound to play it that way, because if you're just betting randomly, then take your shot at the over 2.5 and you just lose more juice. But when you are consistently, like you are betting right as a profession, or you're capping as a profession, then that juice over the span of a year is huge. And a 2.75, if it wins, right, then no worries. But you're going to lose 40% of the time, and that's if you're one of the top, in the world at what you do. So yeah, losing a minus 140 versus like a minus 113, that adds up to a huge amount of units over the span of a year. So I love those 2.7, anything like you said with the 0.75, love them.
I could see your eyes light up when you saw this 0.75. So yeah,
I do.
I'm in like good books there.
Claudio, and you know what I was just looking for too. Oh, you go ahead and address Claudio here.
Claudio, welcome into the stream. First time I think I've seen you here. How much do you guys charge monthly for picks? Now, we will be having the VIP subscription premium service coming soon here. How much would you pay for us, Claudio? That's the question I'm going to ask you.
Steve charges about
what's worth it?
$5. Mine's about 5,000. So yeah, you know to choose which who you want to go with. But yeah, no, we're actually starting. Claudio, I don't know. You have to let me know. You might be someone who DM'd me about this. So Steve and I have a separate premium service, but I'm meshing all of that. So for what I charge a month is the same thing Steve and I are going to be charging jointly. So yeah, I'll let you go into that. As far as we will have different tiers, but I think the basic is going to be. Well, I'll let you.
There will be offers. Yeah, I think the basic tier would be about roughly $40 a month.
Yeah,
but there will be offers for those who want more multiple months. You can get some value there, some prices off, or even 6 months or more, or even a yearly tag. So I mean, that's the thing. I don't know. I think your own Patreon at the minute, what you about 50 quid? Are you £50 a month? Are you, Ashley? Something like that.
I do dollars. I'm American. I do $40, $39.99. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying, Claudio. For my picks, and that's pre-match. I do a lot of live plays also. So for the same price you can get for just me, you're gonna be able to get Steve and I together, and that is going to be pre-match picks, and it's also going to be live plays from both of us, and it's going to be we're still going to be doing these videos and doing free content all the time, of course, but you're also going to have access to be able to ask us questions, and we're going to do private like live streams and videos like this.
Yeah, right? This will be private for those
right.
who eventually join the VIP service. A lot of these will be on the Telegram channel.
Yeah. So there will be a lot of perks for it. Yeah, because I've had some people asking me about my premium service, but it's like, just hang on just a little bit longer, and you get Steve and I together, and you just get a whole lot. We bet totally different. Steve will take cards, corners, things like that. So yeah, it's worth waiting to get us bundled together for $40. You definitely can't beat that price.
I mean, I'm interested. What is a fair price? I mean, what do people watch, and what would people pay for a good service? I don't know. I mean, I think there's some ridiculous price ones out there. There's some very good value service ones out there. It's a good conversation to have. Maybe we should have like an episode one day. What is good value in betting?
Well, the sad thing is when you break down like the hours. I know the hours that I put into it daily at the capping and everything. It makes me, it makes me kind of nauseated sometimes to think only charge $40 a month, especially with the numbers that I hit. Right, if I'm capping but I suck at it and I'm charging $40 a month, but no one's winning anything, then hey, fine. But people are making a lot of money on my picks, and I have really good patrons, and several of them tip me well. But the reason we have other people we compete with, and when you have those people out there, say the Twitter cappers, right, who have like 50,000 followers, who can afford to charge $15-20 a month, then you have to lower your prices with a smaller following to try to compete with those guys. So unfortunately, it's unfortunate for us, but it's fortunate for you guys, because we have to compete with other cappers on the market.
There is a big market out there for sure, lots of different sports, and you do put the hours in. Actually, there's no doubt about that. A lot don't realize the amount of. I mean, it's just it's crazy amount of research that has to be done with any sports capper really that's successful.
I will say it is. There will be people like when it was Steve and I together, because we do this constantly. It's what he does for a living. It's what I do for a living. Neither of us does this on the side. So yeah, the hours that you'll be getting combined, right, for the work. There may be cappers that have a better day than me, a better week than me, or whatever. But there's not going to be anyone who outworks me. I can tell you that for sure.
Hannah Wade said, "I would give my life for your picks, Ashley."
She gets them for free.
Claudio says not many cappers win consistently on socket. You know what? This Claudio, I'm liking the sound of his jab, because he's right about a lot of things here.
Mm-hmm.
He's spot on. There's a lot of. Now, I don't want to use the word fraud because that's wrong. But there are a lot out there on soccer who they're not as good as they think they are.
Oh yeah, you got that right. Yeah,
And
they're
don't
more
get me wrong,
prone
there's
to
some
talk
very good
about their
ones as
wins.
well. Yeah,
Yeah,
there is a lot of good ones out there as well. But if you're not careful, there's you can get done. But Claudio, I'm liking the sound of your jab.
Yeah, well, Claudio sounds like he doesn't expect, someone who's.
Well, he is. Claudio's. Yeah, he knows he's got to be skeptical.
Oh, sure.
Right.
Well, of course you do.
Spot on there.
Yeah, and there are winning. Well, it depends on too, Claudio, what you mean by not people who win consistently. So the thing is, you have cappers. If you have false expectations too, if you have some cappers who are shitty ones, who lie about their record and say they hit it 80% or something, that the world class handicappers, literally in the world, you're going to hit, but 58% over your lifetime, right? So yeah, that's around the numbers that I hit in. Some months I'll hit around 62%. Yeah, so if you're realistic about that, if you think someone should be hitting at 80% or something like that, then I would say there's no capper in the world. The books are professionals and very experienced at what they do. So yeah, you have to be world class to win 60% of the time.
I've seen people get sucked into traps where they subscribe to services which claim to be 75% plus hit rate, and they can't do it. And they're genuine frauds, or they all right, you can have next month free, etc., until they just randomly hit a good month. And anyone that's claiming to be 70% or more week in, week out, year on year, it's just not gonna happen.
Yeah, just Google Billy Walters, right? One of the best handicappers in the history of sports betting, and I believe he hit it 57 point something percent. So yeah.
We'll move on. We've got one more pick each for Sunday. You got a double here. You got Bundesliga 2 in addition to Brentford against Manchester City. Hamburg team total over 1.5 goals against Sandhausen, and Manchester City draw no bet in the first half away to Brentford. Typical sort of Ashley double, this one.
So it is. It's very random. So Hamburg team total here, I kind of even like their team total over 2.5, but they're kind of a team that's like, they'll get you those goals, but they're going to make you sweat it out. So I don't want to have to sweat out 3 here. Yeah, I'm just going to just keep this simple. They're a team that they have tons of shooters. They can find the back of the net multiple times. They average over 2 goals scored, score over 3 in quite a few. So yeah, I feel very comfortable that they get 2 here. They're up against a Sandhausen team that I expect them to not necessarily crush, but they should handle the tempo, the score, and everything that should pretty much dictate this match. They've been a cash cow for me and very consistent, dependable team. So I like that leg of it a lot. There were a few things I liked, and I was flirting with putting with it in a double. I know some people may be put off by this, right? Because with Man City, I know it's not a lot of people wanting to touch them. They have the Premier League title wrapped up. They have Champions League coming up and all of those things. But I still just think with Foden, with what's called their B squad, I still think Man City are just so strong that I will take them to do no worse than draw in the first half. This is not a full game play. This is just saying that Man City do not lose the first half. I think there's actually a really good shot that they win it. So Man City have scored in the first half in 17 of their last 19 Premier League matches, and that's at home and on the road. So 17 of 19 is about as strong as it gets. And yeah, like I said, I mean, I think they do that no matter which roster they field here, because their backups, their depth is insane. And every time their bench players are able to get on the pitch, they're trying to earn starting jobs too. They're up against a Brentford side that is not bad, but they're not on par with Man City. And Man City is one of the very few, if not, well, probably pretty much the only EPL team that I usually feel confident in betting, because they're just, to me, the best team in the world right now. So I like the money line at plus 125 first half. I like the price of them just to score in the first half. So yeah, to take them just to not lose the first half, I think that's a pretty solid look because I do think there's a very good chance they score in the first half.
This German Bundesliga 2 game is a massive match. Hamburg could get promoted automatically if they win and Heidenheim fail to win. Heidenheim are facing a team called Regensburg, who are already relegated on goal difference, really.
Yeah, Heidenheim's a good side too.
They look like they're going to be a Bundesliga 1 side, Heidenheim, next year. Hamburg will, whatever, be in the playoff again. They lost the playoff the last 2 years, I think. So, they tend to bottle it, don't they, Hamburg? But
yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're the ones they'll make you sweat it out, right, when you take them. But usually, by the time that final whistle blows, they've done what you needed them to do. So I think they will for us here.
Man City draw no bet first half. Do you reckon Ivan Toney's back that one? Is that his sort of bet? Do you think he came out and revealed this week?
Hey, probably, man. If he's a smart bettor, he's on that.
He bet against his own team 13 times. It was revealed. You saw that one, Ashley, I'm sure.
Yeah, but you know what's weird is that you would think, right, if he would get in trouble, because if you're betting on your own team, usually you're betting that you're going to lose, so you're going to try to suck. But he was betting against his own team, but I hit him so many times for a goal scorer. So that's just a very, very odd scenario there.
He was betting against his own team in matches he wasn't involved in, so he must have had inside information about maybe the makeup of the team. I mean, if you bet, I actually don't have a problem with him betting on himself or on the team to win. I mean, that's a
yeah. Right, but losing's a different thing, right? Because then you might be intentionally trying to lose.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people who said when the eighth month ban came out, he's not allowed to play football till January the 15th, I think, 2024. A lot were saying that's really harsh, especially as they're sponsored by betting companies and things. I think when it came out that he was betting against his own team, I think 8 months looks maybe a little bit lenient. But
yeah, it's funny what people value, right? Because I mean, in this country, in the NFL, it's like shit. You only get like a couple of game suspension for beating your spouse. So yeah, they take that shit. They take betting real serious.
Well, NFL, yeah. Well, NFL's stupid. Like you can get away with literally murder.
Yeah, literally murder. Absolutely.
But you get done for a year for like a small offense like betting or I don't know, whatever. It's just
it's crazy. So Sharky Love here says, oh, so good. That Sharky was looking for something to parlay Hamburg team total. See, great minds think alike. Sharky, but just know, the angle of that Man City has everything wrapped up. I trust them. I'm gonna bet it this way. If you're looking, I think maybe both teams to score and Leeds and Tottenham. That's a really good piece for a double if anyone's looking for something else. So Leeds, they score and they bleed goals. But this is the route that I'm going to go. I could be ballsy and take Man City money line, which I probably will sprinkle first half, but this is my play for the show. I like it.
Yeah, I think City probably win the game. Their B team's well capable of beating Brentford. Brentford, though, could do the double over Man City this year, incredibly, if they win the game, which is pretty remarkable for them. So they won't lack for motivation, but I just don't think they're good enough without Ivan Toney, to be honest with you.
I don't either.
I've got a pick in the Premier League, and I'm going over 3.5 goals in a match. Southampton versus Liverpool. I do like a game, at the end of in the last round where there's nothing at stake. Mm-hmm. I mean, it proved, it was worth it today for me in France when I took Angers against Troyes, nothing game, really. And I like goals here. Southampton are gone. They're finishing bottom of the table, whatever. Liverpool are landlocked in 5th place. Mm-hmm. But I think both teams will go for it with quite attacking game, really, I think. I think Liverpool might change their team up a bit. Maybe they'll even rest the goalkeeper. They'll probably give Darwin, Núñez a go, something like that. I think there'll be plenty of hungry players on show. James Milner might be worth a shout anytime, here, scorer. He'd probably be on the penalties. It's his last game for Liverpool.
Oh,
I forgot
yeah.
to mention. Yeah, I need to look at the
Yeah.
odds for that. James Milner, any time's worth looking at here, in my
Yeah.
opinion. He's never missed a penalty in his life, I don't think.
How many has he taken, though? 2? Has he taken a lot?
20 odd. 20 odd.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Yeah, so
Because technically I've never missed a penalty either.
True enough. But I think there's goals here. I mean, Southampton's defence is shambles. I'm not even sure I fully trust Liverpool's. Both teams have nothing to play for in terms of league position. And these sort of games, it can either end terribly like drab 0-0 or 1-0, or they can get a bit wild. And the goal line's high, but I think over 3.5 goals at -101's worth to go. Liverpool, I think they're a bit angry, of not qualifying for the Champions League.
Oh, yeah.
I think they might want to vent out some frustration here on Southampton. And if Liverpool came and won like 4 or 5, I wouldn't actually be completely shocked, at all.
Yeah, there's been a disappointing season for them for sure with the talent they have. So, and I like this because this is, what is it that you call this? The all or nothing, right? Like you're not going to have the option of a push. You're either going to hit this bet or you're going to lose it. Yeah.
Yeah, nothing. I mean, I looked at 3.25, but I'm like, fuck that. We'll go all or nothing. Milner, by the way, plus 650 anytime. I don't know if he'll start the game. He probably won't start the game. But he will be on the field at some point. Last game for Liverpool. He's going to be on the penalties. And Southampton, the sort of team probably would concede a stupid one, wouldn't they? So I think that's not a bad pick, James Milner any time in this game. But it might be one of those where you don't tick that box void if he doesn't start, because he could come on as a sub and
come off the bench. Yeah, Claudio, Jonathan David, right? Yeah. Thankfully, the saving grace of Jonathan David and Guerrieri and these other scorers that I took, I did take them individually also, and not just with Steve and I's big scorer parlays. So David, he did perform well today.
This is the final round of the Premier League, Ashley. The only round of the season where every match plays at the same time. What's left to play for? The Conference League place between Aston Villa and Tottenham. Third place between Man United and Newcastle, although it doesn't really matter. And then, of course, this relegation battle. 2 of Everton, Leicester, or Leeds going down. Obviously, I'm hoping from my own Leeds perspective, we somehow achieve a miracle. Seen a lot of people. Sorry, excuse me. Everton are massively short price favourites to beat Bournemouth. If Everton win, they will survive. I know they've got injury problems. Leicester against West Ham could maybe take advantage if Everton don't. And if both did fail, then Leeds against Spurs. I mean, all 3 have been horrendous this year. They really have. I mean, give me a scoreline prediction for the 3 games, Ashley. No bets, but
well, I'll tell you what.
Everton, Bournemouth. What do you reckon?
Well, let me first say that of the 4 the teams that you just mentioned, the one you just said the 3 are horrible. To me, out of those 4, the one that's not in trouble of being relegated is the most horrible of all of them. Tottenham is the single most pathetic team in the EPL to me. If they played Luton Town today, I would take Luton Town on the money line at plus like 5,000 or whatever. The scoreline for Everton, I don't know. I'm going to look at that one. I will give you a guess, but I say this is one of those kind of matchups like you're talking about. I like goals in these ones where teams have something to fight for. So I'm not saying that they win, but I'll say I think it goes over 2.5. I will say.
Are you thinking like a 2-2? Like maybe Everton bottle this, not win the game with the pressure on them. I don't know. I'm gonna give the nod to Everton. I'll say Everton 2-1. Yeah,
I think they're gonna fight for their lives, and I can see them nicking it.
I mean, Leicester should beat West Ham. Even money on Leicester. West Ham they've got nothing to play for. They've got this massive Europa Conference League final. This should be a free hit for Leicester if you trust Leicester City. And
I don't. I think they're garbage. They're right down there with Tottenham to me. Yeah, Leicester, they're trash. If West Ham having the Europa match coming up, that's the only thing that would stop me from slamming that team. I don't know. I'll still say that Leicester don't get the win. I win. I'll say it ends like something shitty, like 1-1. I hope they don't get the
Well,
win. I can't stand that team. They suck.
well, I'll tell you what, I'll take that. I mean, Leeds, Tottenham then. I mean, did Tottenham even want to be in the Conference League? Like, would they rather? They'd probably rather finish 8th than 7th because they'd be quite embarrassed as a club to be in 7th.
I don't know, but I tell you what, I like Leeds tomorrow. I don't know the exact angle I'm taking yet. I like them on the draw no bet at plus money. I like them to score twice around evens. So neither of those are official. I don't know exactly how I'm going to play it, but I think that Leeds, even though they are in a fight for their lives, for some reason I don't see it as a pressure-packed match for them. I don't think they're viewing this as they're playing Tottenham, right? Like the name Tottenham means nothing this season. I think Leeds see this as very winnable. I think they might be worth a sprinkle on the money line. I like goals in that match for sure.
It's not a pressure match for Leeds unless the news comes in elsewhere that Everton and Leicester are not winning. I mean, there's actually a scenario. If Leicester, I mean, if Everton draw, Leeds have got to win this match by 3 goals to survive. So, I mean,
if it's possible,
depending on Leicester, yeah. I
it's
mean,
possible
it's
versus this team. God damn.
You just never know what's going to happen in the Premier League.
Well, give me your predictions on those matches.
I think Leeds actually win. To be honest, I don't think Tottenham are terribles. I think Leeds win 2-1. I think Leicester should win convincingly. I 2-0 Leicester. And Everton, Bournemouth, I can't make my mind up. I do have a feeling Everton might make life difficult for themselves. You know, I'm not saying they will not survive or not win, but I don't think Everton are not just going to rock up and win like 3 or 4-0.
No,
they won't.
I don't.
If they win, it's by what, 1 goal. Or they get him, or they're really edgy, looking over their shoulders. You know, maybe they see Leicester losing and they think, you know, we'll play for the draw and say, go on, Leeds, beat Spurs by 3 goals if you can.
Mm-hmm.
So I just don't see Everton winning very convincingly if they do. But I think 2-1 Everton's not a bad shout, you know, on your account. But equally, I could see them drawing. They might not have to win the game. A lot depends on the other results and. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't really get involved in those games. I prefer to get involved in games where there's nothing at stake. I think teams play with freedom. You know, something like Palace, Nottingham Forest, or Chelsea, Newcastle sort of game. Brentford, Man City is a good one for that, where there's no real pressure on either side. Villa, Brighton, another one. There's going to be a random 4-3 somewhere, and it always is in the last game of the season, right?
Yeah.
It's just a question of where it comes, you know. Maybe Man United, Fulham. I don't know. It's will you be sad to see the end of the Premier League this year?
No. That's
not really been your favorite.
My short
league,
answer is no. My long answer is fuck no. I don't depend on that league to bet. I do enjoy, you know, taking. Now that I'm betting like individual player shots more, I do like Premier League for that. So I think next season I won't dread it as much because you know that's a market that I'm branching out into more. But no, I'm fine with it. I'm sure I'll be ready for it to start up when it comes back around. But I'll have plenty of action in lower leagues all around the world, so I'm not sweating the EPL.
Hannah White says I think you guys should go head-to-head on predictions sometime. Make a fun bet of it where the loser has to do something ridiculous on air. I could just imagine it where Ashley loses and has to reveal an Auburn Tigers tattoo.
That's never happening. I'm going to go ahead and tell you. I'll do a lot of crazy shit. I was going to give some examples, but I don't want us to get banned. We've just started this channel. Getting an Auburn Tigers tattoo will never.
No chance
at all. So you guys.
But I do like that idea. I think we should maybe go head to head on predictions at some point or other. We got and also maybe someone else can get involved. Maybe we can challenge some viewer week in, week out as well, or
Yeah,
something
there you
like
go.
that.
I would
people
like to
that
point
sort of
out
thing.
Eddie's shout there. So Kane to score. Yeah, I agree, Eddie. As much shit talking as I did about Tottenham, that's not to say they don't have talent. They do, which is why it's kind of surprising to me why they are so bad. Like Son, I love him. Don't know what's
Against the
happened to him
mighty Leeds defense.
against that
The mighty Leeds
mighty
United
Leeds
defense.
defense. Yeah, Kane. I mean,
Yeah.
and is always on penalty duties. That guy's good. I mean, I'm ragging on the team, but Harry Kane, he's Harry Kane. So yeah, taking him to score at decent prices, that's never a bad idea.
All right, well, that will do it for this show then. We are hoping to be back again tomorrow, actually, because of the full slate of Norwegian card. You could probably delve deep into some other ones in around the world for Monday, no doubt. The Swedish games. But good luck, whatever you're taking on Sunday, everyone.
Yeah.
Hope you have a great betting day. Claudio, that's a good question, actually, this one. Ooh. Spain, Italy, England, Germany, and France leagues. Which is the most profitable? I mean, I don't bet on Spain.
Well, he's saying so with these big leagues basically ending.
Shit.
What links do we find? So for me, Claudio, it's everywhere. I bet China Super League. I love J1 League of Japan. I love betting goals in Singapore. I love betting Estonia for goals, Iceland for goals. There's a ton of value to be found, and capping is actually a lot more fun, right? You have to do a little bit more work digging, and you get familiar with these lesser known teams. But yeah, I would say for me, it's Japan and Iceland and Estonia. I really enjoy betting those three. There's tons more, but just put on the spot off the top of my head, that's what I'll go with.
Keep an eye out for the Maldives League. I think it does. It has started, hasn't it? I know that's one of your favorite ones in the summer, but otherwise, look in Scandinavia. For me, it's always going to be Norway, especially OBOS second division in Norway.
Yes, Norway second division. Yeah, definitely.
Amazing league, usually for goals. And yeah, there's plenty out there. Honestly, Claudio, how do you pronounce it? The top leagues can be hard to bet in. The best leagues to bet in and make money are often the less glamorous ones, really.
Oh yeah. Well, right, because like the EPL is the most bet sport, of the most bet league of any sport in the world, right? More bet than the NFL or any of that. So what does that tell you? The books have those numbers of the Premier League wrapped so tight. It's kind of tough sometimes to find value in them. So they're not wrapping those Chinese Super League numbers quite as tight. But I think Claudio is just a sharp guy here. I think what he's getting at is especially for if we have things to bet, right? If it's worth our service now with these big five closing down. And yes, so if that's what you're getting at, Claudio, I bet year round for sure.
Well, have a good day. Whatever you're taking, like I say, anyone who's been watching live or on demand, appreciate your time. And we'll be back tomorrow for a Monday show on All Angles Sports Investment with myself, Steve Wish, and Ashley Wade. So take care, everyone, and goodbye.
See you guys tomorrow.